Hi, my name is Zael.
Hi, my name is Evan. And the app we're going to use is Bubble Level.
Bubble level. Basically, you can measure it against the outside world and it tells you if it's true or not. It's flush with the earth, like flat and stuff. Which the earth is really a sphere. So it's more like if it's normal in the orthogonal plane.
Okay, to download Bubble Level, you're going to go into the App Store and then you're going to search for Bubble Level. And then you're going to scroll down until you find the one called Pocket Bubble Level XXL, and you're going to press Get. Then you press Open, and it brings you into the app.
After opening the app, you'll notice that it goes straight to a pretty flat level, and you can try to get it right in the center, and it'll tell you the X position is how much off it is from perfectly level. And this is based on gyroscopic data from your phone, which is pretty cool. You can also turn it sideways and do a big sideways one. And that's really nice for like if your phone doesn't fit long ways in a certain gap. And then you can also, if you want, you can do it like top down. And that's like, it looks kind of like a bubble with a little crosshairs, and putting it in the center will level your phone up, down, like flat ways. And that'll help with both left and right at the same time. And then you can switch between all the different modes, so you can actually have a sine graph if you want that does all of them at the same time. And that way you can see up and down and left and right, and you can get your phone perfectly level in all of the different directions at once, which is also a very cool feature. And this is just one of the modes of Bubble Level, which is the pretty basic one, but there's more.
However, in order to unlock these other modes, you need Premium Bubble Level, which can be unlocked by watching an ad for an hour of access or by spending some money.
So we decided to watch an ad. This ad is about TurboTax, and it's telling you to get the TurboTax app now. This ad is about DoorDash, which is also a great ad, also a great door, also a great dash. Lots of great things. Dinner's there, wherever there is, get DoorDash. And doing that will unlock all of the special features of the Bubble Level.
Okay, so one of the special features is a clinometer. That's a big fancy word for something that measures the angle of elevation of something. So you can use it if you know how far you are away from something that's really tall to measure the angle of elevation up to the top of that thing, like a building. And then you could use some trigonometry to determine how tall that thing is, even if it was so tall that you couldn't measure it with a ruler or something. Clinometers measure in a lot of units. They measure in percent, they measure in degrees. This one only does those two, but others can measure in minutes and seconds. They use accelerometers to monitor like how gravity affects a mass that's hanging.
And so that's the definition for like a general clinometer, which is actually the shortened version of inclinometer, which means
Also a tilt sensor.
Oh yeah, and a tilt sensor. So it's like incline, you know. But this particular clinometer actually has a special feature that lets you use it with a camera. So this camera allows you to look at your surroundings, and it'll actually sense, based on those same accelerometers, where up is, and then you can use a clinometer to detect tilt. So as you can see, there's degree symbols everywhere, and if we put it on a white background, you can actually see that the angles are match up, and there's a little laser sight at the bottom that you can activate, and that allows you to tilt it in the right angle in order to get an accurate measurement of the angle at which your phone's tilting. And this allows you to measure real-world angles. So if you have something that you're not sure quite what the angle is, you can discover with this. And like we were saying earlier, if you use trigonometry, this helps you find the height of really tall buildings. Anything that you need to find the distance or height or angle of, you can get one of those three variables with the clinometer.
Another type of level is the laser level. This has access to your camera, which you have to allow in the app, but then you can see what angle your phone is at relative to what it thinks is flat, which is the green line. Here's an example of us using the laser level to test how accurate it is. So as you can see, I'm holding up a stick next to a protractor at a particular angle. It'll say what angle that is. And the bubble level app gives us a corresponding angle reading, which it turns out is very close to the angle that I chose with the stick. Close enough that the bubble level app might be more accurate than my stick measurement. Here's another example of me trying a different angle and reorienting the screen of the phone to see what this different angle is.
So here I have the laser level, and the green line is the line that I'm using to measure with, and the red line is what is keeping the vertical. And Evan is standing there pretty vertically, and he is 6 feet tall, which is 72 inches. What I'm going to try to measure is the distance from his feet to that green bouncy ball right there. And so I'm going to measure from the top of his head, actually, down at an angle to the bottom of the green thing. And that should tell me roughly the distance from the horizontal if I can use trigonometry. And that angle is 164 degrees, which, if you take that off of the 180 degree vertical, is about 16 degrees.
So to calculate the actual distance, we can use the tangent of the 16 degree measured angle, which will be equal to x over my height, which is 72 inches. And that comes out to about 20.6 inches, which is very close to our actual measured value, which was 21 inches. So this shows that bubble level has some pretty good accuracy.
Okay, now we're going to go through a couple pros and cons. So our first pro of bubble level is that it uses the real world to line itself up, which means it's generally pretty accurate. It doesn't just kind of guess. It doesn't just like gauge based on how straight lines look. It actually uses accelerometers, and it has internal measuring systems that really do check which way is up for gravity's sake, and that means the clinometer feature is pretty accurate. Secondly, it has a good user interface. It's pretty intuitive how to use it. The colors are nice. It works fairly simply, and none of the controls take a lot of practice to get good at. It also has a camera feature that lets you take a picture of what you're doing when you're doing the laser leveling. So if you get it in the right spot and you have like everything lined up for 1 second, you can actually snap a photo, and that lets you later analyze exactly what degree you were at. It's actually pretty accurate, and it levels in 2 directions. It levels in X and Y, so it gives you multiple different planar views of what you're doing if you're trying to get something completely flat.
The cons of bubble level. The main detractor factor is really the ads. There's ads when you're using the level and you're mid-level and you're trying to measure something, and there's a pop-up ad. There's ads in order to unlock more features, and there's like banner ads over the whole thing that distract from the app. Another con is the app needing calibration. It won't let you measure until you calibrate, but that's not that big a deal because it's pretty quick to calibrate. Also, it makes very annoying bing sounds when you are perfectly level in any of the leveling features. Although we have some disagreement as to whether or not the bing sound is actually annoying. Overall, we rate Bubble Level app about 4 toy cars out of 6 bananas. But for real though, we think it's worth about 3.5 stars out of 5. It was mostly very accurate, but the ads and paywall really take away from the whole experience.
Thank you for tuning in to our Bubble Level app review. This is Zael.
And this is Evan.
Signing off for next time. We'll see you on the flip side. All the other things that people say when they're signing off. And Have a good day. Goodbye.